Yeah.
So now you're in South Africa, right? After having that huge sense of relief, what were describe to us the environment. Like, what does it smell like? What does it feel like? What does it look like? You know.
Uh, it's breathtaking.
Yeah.
There's mountains all around, and it's like nothing like San Diego. These are ginormous mountains. And everywhere you look, they're all around. So it's beautiful. And then you go into the little town in Stellenbosch, just like the downtown area. Oak trees all over, trees. So it's so different compared to San Diego because these are big trees. San Diego, I always joke with people that we don't really have trees. They're just like implants everywhere, and they're not beautiful. I mean, San Diego's beautiful, but here
it's just different.
Yeah,
it's different. There's quite a bit of similarity to California, and that's what stood out to me. We actually drove from Stellenbosch 8 hours east to go pick up our car when we bought it, and the drive over there was just beautiful. It's the same, but it's different. The town is small. The roads are narrow.
Oh my gosh, they're narrow. Like
the architecture shows, it's historical part of this part of the country. And then also you see things that you're maybe not accustomed to. There's parts of town that look a lot like Tijuana. Me growing up in TJ, it's one of the things I was like, oh man, and where the more poor communities live, and but it's it's different. You're taking in a lot, and I think for me, maybe something like that, it didn't have such an impact.
Mm-hmm.
I understood it. It's like this is just the socioeconomic, where that line is drawn, and it's just so like from here to here, from this street across to this other street, it's like it looks totally different. But even then, it's beautiful. The people, the culture, the attitude, it's very welcoming and warm. We haven't felt anything but,
Yeah, and I feel like for us, there wasn't so much of a culture shock because going to Tijuana really often, we were familiar with like the poor areas and stuff, but the things they do here remind us a lot of how TJ is. Pulling cars, a little car pulling another little car, like towing, kids in the front seat. It's totally what we
people
had
in the back
known.
of a truck. Yeah, it's so yeah. Aesthetically, it's beautiful. Culturally, it's diverse and it's different, and yeah.
So I imagine that the breathtaking environment, and then learning that this is a lot like what reminded you of TJ, this new home of yours. When did you feel comfortable? Like, I know that you can say it in your mind that you're like, this is my home now. This is my home now. But when was it like, okay, this is home?
Okay. I think that was once for me personally, I knew like, okay, this is my home. But once our shipment came with our actual stuff that we shipped from San Diego and we put it up, I was like, once I started cooking, I was like, this is my home.
Nice.
I have my stuff. Like I have my pots and pans. I have the things that I know that are, I have. And I was like, yeah.
It just made it official. It made it official. It was like a unpacking of our life. We transitioned over here, not knowing how long we were going to be here, what the timeline was. We were just open and willing and ready to move long term. And so, yeah, for me, I think it was little things, like taking care of all those practical things, cell phone, bank account, uh, finding a place to, rent and live in and say, okay, this is going to be our neighborhood. And also all those steps were just building up on, but I think it was, and especially because of the delay, it took a lot longer for that stuff to get here than it was anticipated.
And how long was that delay? I mean, I know, but I don't know how many other people know.
Yeah. So it was supposed to be here mid-November, and that would have been 2 months from when we sent it out. It didn't get here until February.
Yeah, February 11th.
February 11th. And so at that point, we were in our home
for 3 months.
For 3 months, November, December, January, and then February. And so we had enough that we needed. The Petersons to move. We bought some of their stuff, including the refrigerator, so we didn't have to worry about like the major ones.
So you had like bed. You had a bed, a refrigerator, a table.
Yeah, we had.
It was a borrowed bed from the Levant, and it was a double.
Oh wow!
And so we had what we needed.
You guys had bunk beds? Is that what you just said? I'm just kidding. I'm just
Imagine. No.
Probably would have been better. I don't know. It's just being so close to the little smaller bed, it would have been better to split us up. But no, so when we got all that stuff, it was like, oh man, like we have arrived. We have, and it's not to add like the super incredible value to it, but we had pictures of family. We had photo books. We have just other stuff that we are looking to just include in our life here, like it was back in the States.
So wait, you're saying that you were saying that you didn't have those things until the shipment arrived, like the photos.
Yeah,
I can totally relate.
Yeah, we didn't have.
I mean,
it was just really making a home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something really special about hanging up photos and like, oh, this is my home. So it's essentially what you're saying is you spent 3 months kind of out of place, out of a suitcase with not your furniture that you're buying. It's like I'm Airbnb-ing it for 3 months pretty much. Now, for some people that's cool, but like when you're like, I want home, where are the photos of my nieces and nephews and brothers and sisters and parents? It's like that stuff really, it's amazing what happens when you hang those pictures up, and there's that it just kind of seals the deal.
Totally. And it's not like we had tons of stuff either. It's literally just a lot of pictures and our beds and our kitchen stuff, but it's not like
beds.
aside from the shipment and that kind of 3 month difficulty of waiting, if you will, for the material things that did mean something, right? That was going to give you that sense of home and more of it feeling official. What were some of the challenges that you faced in the first 3 months of arriving?
They gave us 3 months to settle.
Yeah.
So not jump into the ministry like full force yet.
Yeah.
Obviously help out, but
this transition allows some space and time to
process.
Yeah, I remember it was partly that of just biding our time, just waiting for the right moment to step in, and there was some transitions out from the team that really kind of synced into when we were just to show us God's timing, and so we came at the right time. We waited and just really waited on God for the right time. But it was challenging, because we up until that point had been working towards getting here, and we were in such a motion of go that now we had to kind of pause, and it was challenging for me. I like being involved and getting my hands in something. come from the workforce before doing ministry. Even now where I have more stuff to do before the lockdown that we're in, there's still moments of that being a challenge of, the thought of I'm not working maybe in the same capacity as I used to being in the workforce.
Or not going somewhere to do your work.
Yeah, not going somewhere. It's so pre-stepping into this like roles, it was waiting, which was the hard part. Post, it was just how different it looks doing ministry than anything else, and so that was challenging.
Yeah,
for
and
myself.
and Tony, you and I have talked. I think that you're touching on just the honesty within you that says I want to work hard because people are depending on me. They have sent me here to work hard, and it was almost like a challenging thing for you to kind of rest and absorb it, right? And I mean, who dreams of that? I mean, I guess you could be working. Gosh, you could be working like 60 hours a week, and you dream of the one thing that you like to do to rest. But I mean, who dreams of 3 months of kind of absorbing and resting and taking it all in before jumping right back in, right? Because the work is, as we'll get into later, you will share how the work has been the work. Like there's a lot to do and a lot of impact to be made. So yeah, thanks for being honest on that one. What about you, Christiana? What was a challenging thing for you?
To be honest, the most challenging was just the waiting of our stuff. Like, because I'm the one doing the not dishes, cooking and cleaning, trying to make the house a home. I didn't have my stuff. So it's just like, I feel like you said, like an Airbnb the first 3 months or 4 months. Yeah, it was a lot. It was waiting because every month or every few weeks we'd get a letter from the company. And they would say, oh, it's pushed back. Oh, it's pushed back. Or we have to pay more because there's these fees or that fees. And it's like, oh, that was the most frustrating. That was the most challenging. I'm like, I was, upset. But moving here, it wasn't that bad. There,
she had a pretty easy,
for me,
easy time transitioning. Yeah.
Our what is it? The retreat, our staff retreat, we did strength finders, and my number one strength finder was adaptability. So I was like, oh, there you go. That's why it hasn't been difficult for me,
right?
Which makes sense. And so it might, down the line, maybe after a year, that's when it's probably going to start hitting. But I pre-grieved. I pre-mourned everything for the last 2 years, 2.5 years. I was grieving the loss of, I'm going to see my family and all that stuff. So once I came here, I was like, okay, I'm all in. That's good. Let's go. Let's start. Let's start making friendships and everything. And the friendships came so natural. It's awesome.
Yeah, that helped a lot for me. Is the friendships, the community aspect of it. To really just work myself through that rough little patch. And it made it easier seeing that she wasn't having a hard time with it. She was like really all in. And so I didn't have to worry as a husband for her.
Totally. Yeah. Just to worry about yourself.
Yeah, I think I think it would have been difficult if we were both having that hard time. Just kind of.
I'm a post griever. So
hey, I'm the same. Yeah. I just push right through and I'm like, put my feelings aside. I have no idea how this is going to hit me. And a year later, you're like, hey, what? Something happened.
Yeah, that's what we were doing. So, and that's what happened.
Gosh, when you guys talk about the your 4 months of waiting, is that what you said?
Yeah.
That like
was it 4 months? 5 months? 4 months. Yeah, 4 months.
Yeah, 4 months.
That makes me feel
Two-
so bad when
5 months. 5 months.
it makes me
Yeah.
feel so bad when I complain about why Amazon's so slow right now for one item. Oh my gosh. But hey, that's first world problems for you, and this is great,
Exactly.
right? This is great to have friends that are in the missions field to keep you grounded.